I started a new hobby. So last year was running. Now this year it's reading. 23 books I read this year so far because reading is my new hobby. If it changes, this is going to be a hobby channel. If it doesn't, it's going to be a reading channel. The first book is the Some Might Turn Pretty series. This is about a girl who is young. I think she's only a teenager, so young people can read this. She's a teenager and she is navigating her romantic life. She has two people who she likes, one best friend, one who actually she likes. And yeah, it just goes through her journey, how it's like. They own like a summer house, and all three of them like go every year. So she's just trying to figure out who to pick, kind of. Not like the selection, if you read that. And then I read Secret Seven, just real quick, right after this, just real quick. I don't know why, to be honest. If you don't know, it's like a mystery type of thing. Every book, they're solving some sort of thing that has gone wrong in the community. This one is some gang of people like coming every night and like trapping someone. I'm not gonna say what because that is spoilers. And then the next two books I read is the second and third books in the Some Might Turn Pretty trilogy. So I love the second one. The second one is my favorite. It's Conrad. I get confused with those two. Conrad in college, and he gets kind of upset, sad kind of, and the two are Jeremiah and Isabel. Isabel's the main character. Is helping Conrad, and things are changing. Isabel doesn't really want that. And I don't know if it's this book or if it was in the first book, a new character is introduced and Isabel does like him. Third book, she chooses someone. You find out pretty early on who she chooses, but in the end she might change it, she might not, you don't know. And it's about the wedding. It's about her navigating, like actually finalizing who she chose. So the trilogy was a 5-star in general, second one being my favorite. And yeah, that's the first trilogy I read. First romance books actually, ever. So fun. The next book I read is The Inheritance Games. This at first, when I first read it, was a 4.75 stars. But when I understood what a mystery is, and when I scrolled on BookTok and looked at some BookTube, I understood it. This is a 5 stars. This is what a good mystery is. This is what a good page turner is. This is what a good romance subplot is. It's Avery who inherited a billionaire's money. She's trying to find why. It's a lot of clues, stuff, things like that. Really fun. The word looks small, but it flies past. Some people that I know don't like the romance. The romance is the main character Avery between two boys, and two boys are brothers. Some people don't like that, but I was okay with it. This next book I was reading for a series or a video I was going to do, but I didn't post that video because it went badly. But I'm just gonna tell you, The Son of Neptune. It was the book or the video and series I was hoping to make was finishing books that I didn't like and just finishing books from 2-3 years ago. That was kind of gonna be my series because like I liked reading, and then I found out from BookTube and it wasn't BookTube, it was Haley Fan. Okay, it was literally Christmas Eve, and then I stumbled upon a Haley Fan video, and then I fell in love with reading. But anyways, I was just finishing books that I didn't really like just to get it over and done with. And this, I like the first book, but it's Roman mythology. Maybe that's why Rick Riordan mostly writes Greek mythology. I don't know. I feel like there's so much things that he didn't really need to include. Percy Jackson, read. Heroes of Olympus, don't continue. That's my advice. This next book, I think I got it when I was like 7 years old, and there was this one YouTuber, right? They were just family, right? Their like niche was just family vlogging, but the girl was reading, right? She wasn't like 12 or something, and the girl was showing this book. Like, I'm reading this every night and stuff like that in like the nighttime routine. It was Australian, so I was like, it wasn't this book. I don't know. It wasn't our Australian Girl one though. But the cover, I don't know, it just hooked me straight away. It's a 4-in-1. Technically, it's a 4 book, but I'm just gonna count it as 1 book because of how big the words are, and considering that I read this in one day, this isn't probably like fun, but it's definitely a cool historical fiction. The next book is the second book in the Inheritance Game series. This is Avery trying to find her real dad, kind of trying to figure out who her dad actually is, and finding and going deeper in the Hawthorne brothers. I feel like this one, I have such a faint memory of it, but I remember I loved it, and I remember the plot. It felt like a big thing will happen on the next page, but it just never happened. I remember it just felt like it's just a lead up book, like building up tension kind of. But there was definitely some like high stakes ish. But that's all of January. Next is going to be February. I only read 4 books in February compared to 8 in January. So The Mark of Athena. This was surprisingly better than book 2. And it's, them just navigating. All of these books are just them preparing for the big 5th book finale. Okay? That's just all it is. That's all it is, really. Just them preparing for the 4th book. Literally. 5th book, sorry. Literally. Okay, the next book I read listened to it on an audiobook. It was Artemis Fowl. I did already read this in 2023, but I had such faint memory. I could not really tell you what it was about. I read it on a plane too. 10 hours? Anyways, a long plane, and I don't really remember much of it, so I listened to an audiobook. The audiobook reader was so good, and I flew past it. I started in January, but I only read it when I had time. The next book I don't have here because I read it as an ebook. Right, and it was Escape from Mr. Lemoncello's Library. I was given it as a rec for book club, I think. It was like a 12-year-old book club. So I just read it 3 stars. It's literally 12 kids, 12-year-olds escaping from a library who the owner is Mr. Lemoncello. And them working plans. You know what? I'll say it's like a kid's version of the Inheritance Games trilogy, but with no romance. That's what I'll say. No, I never thought of that. This next book is my first Emily Henry book. So you can guess, is it Beach Read, People We Meet on Vacation, Book Lovers, Happy Place, or Funny Story? It's Funny Story. At the bookstore, I wanted to get an Emily Henry book, and Funny Story was the only one they had. There are spicy chapters. I think it's chapter 12, chapter 18, and chapter 22. Maybe chapter 19 too. I don't know. The only reason I know that is because I searched it up last week and I have good memory. Is this book spicy? There's definitely some. There's cuss words right next to it or something. So anyways, I'm just gonna say no restriction, age rating, and have fun. So that's February, and going into March is the final gambit. I was stuck on this book for maybe 3 days, 4 days. I didn't even read. I was stuck, literally on page 100. I think it's chapter 25. That's how much I was stuck. I remember what page. I remember what chapter. I think. Yes, literally. Page 100. I don't know if you can see that. This is page 100, chapter 25. Literally, I was stuck on that, and then I was looking at just Ali finishing every series I'm in the middle of, and she was reading the Final Gambit in one, and she read it in one session at a Starbucks or something. So that's what I did. I went to Starbucks and I literally bought this book, and I did the exact same thing as her. I literally finished it, and I gave it a 5 stars. So the whole trilogy, I just threw all the books in this pile, so I do not know where. It was such a good series, to be honest. I am so happy I am not reading Booktube when it started, or sorry, not Booktube, books when Book Talk, Bookstagram, Booktube was started. I think that was 2 or 3 years ago, because they would just be picking up books and just hoping it was good. These are recs. These are recommendations. I know this. I know it will be good. From YouTubers I love, Booktubers I love, BookTokers I love. So yeah, I'm almost guaranteed a 5 stars, and it was definitely a 5 stars. Final Gambit was so good. So good. I don't know why I was stuck on page 100. Next book, I started a new series, and it was a buddy reading series. But, plot twist, the other person started 2 months earlier than me. So, we did buy it at the same time, but I wanted to read so many things before it that I only read it in March, while the other person read it in January. The Hunger Games. It's really hyped up right now because of the new books, and I really want the new book, but I'm not up to there yet. It's such a good sci-fi book, and I am watching the movie too. You know what I should do for a video? Reading all the books and watching the movie. Amazing idea. Next is a really hyped book from 2 or 3 years ago. Wings of Fire. I didn't really like it. I read it on audiobook. I don't really like it. For me to like a book with dragons, it needs to be dragons mixed with humans. This is just a dragon thing. I don't really like that. And I'm sorry, Q.T. Sutherland, her writing is just not my style. I could not read it. I could only listen to it. So, yeah, I'll say 3 stars. Next book is some people's favorite book. It's definitely Haley's favorite book, Haley Fames. It's definitely Destiny Sidwell and Sarah Caroli's top. I'm not gonna say favorite, but it's definitely up there, and it's better than movies by Lynn Painter. If you're gonna read this before Funny Story. This Funny Story is just so good that I didn't think that this was so good. Funny Story was 6 stars. This was 5 stars. I don't know why. I don't know why people are saying this is so good. I didn't really like it. I think I need to reread this. I just don't. I think I wasn't in the right mood for it, so I'm gonna put it here actually to reread. I'll reread it. This next book is part of the Inheritance Games. The Inheritance Games is a trilogy, I think, right? This is what I'm guessing. Well, this is what I'm gathering. Trilogy. This is part of it, but it's not part of it. It's like a standalone kind of. And then there's like the Grandest Games, which uses the same characters and the same plot, I guess, but just a different series. And I'm not doing that because it's third person. This was also third person. There is really no need to read this. People gave it 4 stars. Maybe I wasn't in the right mood for it. I really love the Inheritance Games, so that's why I read it. Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This took me like 4 to 5 days. Usually a book only takes me like 2.5 days. I can't say 2.5 days because in February I only read 4 books. That means a book took me like a week and a bit. I wasn't reading much then. Alright. This next book was When You Trap a Tiger. It was for an assignment done. I can't really rate books that was for an assignment, so yeah. It is so good, so good. I love the paperback. Like, people love the hardback. I love the paperback. It's a romantasy. It's fantasy as in like mythology kind of, there's like a war going on with it. And it's very high stakes. It just doesn't feel like high stakes to me because of the amount of romance it is. You can't really say much without giving spoilers. Like, if I say something, it's not a spoiler, but I feel like you guys, smart people, will guess it. Like, guess what happens. Like, yeah, so I can't really say anything. All I can say is I definitely recommend Sadako and the 1,000 Paper Cranes, again, for an assignment. It's a historical fiction, I think. So, yeah. Oh, sorry, not fiction. Historical non-fiction. Next is April. We're getting into April. Alright, March I read 8 books. Now we're going to April. I'm counting Sadako and the 1,000 Paper Cranes as a book, even though it's like literally so short. The second book's in the Hunger Games series. I read this in 2 days, and it was so good. Literally, actually, though. Like, I was finally getting in, like, the first 100 pages maybe, couldn't get into it, and then I did get into it, but it was only like maybe 20 pages before Katniss and Peter go back to the Hunger Games. Like, I didn't think they would go back, even though I looked at the back. I don't know why. I didn't think that, but anyways, I was like, I'm finally getting used to this. And then the next page, they're going into the Hunger Games, and then I was like, for like 5 minutes, I was like, don't go into the Hunger Games now. I finally got used to the plot. And then Hunger Games flew by, and then this was a 5-star book. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know. Like, literally, I was on page 200, and then in a blink of an eye, I was finished with the book. Like, I don't know what happened. The House of Hades. The reason I read this is because I had no other books to read, and it was like 1 week until a book goal. So I just read it. I read it in 2 days. Pretty good. Mid, I'll say. I liked Bob. I liked Percy and Annabeth, like what they do. I didn't really like what Leo, Piper, Jason, Hazel, and Frank did. It was just not my style. I liked Bob. I liked the mystery that lied upon Percy and Annabelle's. So it's not third person. Heroes of Olympus is not third person, but Percy Jackson is first person. And the last book is Hunger Games Mockingjay. I trust Suzanne Collins. I trust I could have given this a 5 stars. I was just not in the mood for this, right? I just wasn't in the mood for war. I'm gonna reread this. I promise. I'm probably gonna reread in May maybe, because I just wasn't in the mood, and I think it's unfair to give it 3 stars, which is what I did give. So I'm gonna reread this. These are 2 books I really want to reread. Not Brothers Hawthorne. It was so bad I don't want to reread it. Nor The Son of Neptune. The Son of Neptune has like 4.5 stars on Goodreads. It is so bad for me. These are 2 books I probably am going to reread. And the book I'm reading now, I started this morning and I'm on page 66. It is Ruthless Vows, the second book of Divine Rivals. So just Ali reading this, and she was like, it starts slow, but from like page 200, 150, like page around 150 to 200, it gets good. So yeah, I'm not pushing through because I like it. But like, I forgot some of the characters. I forgot a lot of things. Like, yeah. Anyways, reading is my hobby for the past 3 and a bit months. So if it continues, this is going to be a reading channel. If it doesn't, it's going to be a hobby channel, because last year my hobby was running, right? And today I did run again. I ran like 5 kilometers, and then like end of last year was like Rubik's cubing. Lost all of that, and then I spent like $300 on. It was more than $300. I spent so much for Rubik's cubing, and now I don't even do it. But anyways, reading's better. Let's go. Peace, guys. Okay.